Hi, another day, dear family. I'm coming at you today. I'm going to go a little bit deep, so I just hope that you ride with me on this one right here. I was doing some studying, I was reading through the Bible. I do a lot of reading, I read a lot of different books, right? But anyway, I was guided to this here particular book in the Bible called Job, right? And what it reminded me of, what I got out of it was how the media is a very strong weapon of the enemy, right? You call him Satan, Shaitan, the dark angel, whatever. But this is a powerful weapon, the media, right? And so while I was reading, it just made sense to me that we were told about this thing way back in the Bible during the time of Job, where it talks about where Satan tells God how he's going to go about devouring souls, right? So, we have to be careful about what we allow within our sight and in our ear, because these are the gateways to our mind, right? And that goes for our children also. We have to be vigilant about what we allow in the gateways, and we have to be double vigilant about what our children allow, what games they're playing, because all of that's media. All of it is media today, right? Whether we call it news or whatever, but it's all media. So let me get right to it, right? So I'm coming from the book of Job, chapter 1, verses 6 and 7, okay? So let me just go right ahead and read it. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them, hiding among them, right? And the Lord noticed him and said unto Satan, Whence cometh thou? Meaning, like, where you come from? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From to and fro in the earth, and from high and low, looking for souls to devour, right? Now think about that for a second, right? To and fro, high and low, right? Now what you would get is something like this here, right? In your mind, to and fro, high and low, right? Now, this is what you call, when you're talking about a geographical directions, the main directions is north, south, east, and west, right? So then you will come up with something like this. Now think about this here. North, south, east, west, right? These are the straight paths that he's going to roam the earth to devour souls, right? Now, after you get that in your mind, okay, I want you to now think about, if you take a look at the north, south, east, and west, and I put that down on paper, and when I scrambled the words, what I came up with was news, okay? The news. Now, the news is not just the 6 o'clock news. The news is media, right? The media plays into politics. It's into movies. We know it's in politics. That's why Trump is there right now, because the news media, whether it's Fox News or CNN or MSNBC, they don't tell all the truth. A lot of times, Trump could be there telling a lie, a bold-faced lie, and not once do they check him right there in the interview for us to witness them doing their job. They will just go along with it. He just altered the truth. It's an altered reality is what they were saying at one time. And they play along with this right here. But what that does to us, and for those who do not do their own research, is it influences their thinking. They're watching, they're listening to this here, and never once do they check this dude about his lies. So they're playing along with it. In other words, they're keeping that hidden, which is the truth, making him accountable for the truth. They're keeping that hidden from us, whereas a lot of weak-minded people, especially those that follow this dude, take his word for it. And the media's job, well, the news rather, those ones I mentioned, their job is to, for our sake, bust the truth out, make him feel uncomfortable about lying to us, and then give us some evidence that they're working for us. But if you ever notice, they go somewhat with the truth, but when it comes to whether if it's a obvious lie, they'll let us know that there. They'll also let us know about who was the latest murder victims. They'll tell us about the stock market. But when it comes to something that they can benefit from, let's face it, Trump has been the number one person in the news for the last 10 years. And I don't think that there's one human being whose name has been mentioned more than Trump other than Jesus or maybe even Allah, or, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we have to, so this here weapon that I'm talking about is something that is being used right now against us. You understand? Just regular people. We are being influenced by a satanic force, right? I'm not saying that all things, on TV is bad, but when you look at the movies, they're teaching our children everything that goes against the principles of God, right? They're teaching them about sex, all kind of different sex. They're teaching them about drugs. They're teaching them about, murder, and you name it. It goes on and on and on. It's teaching our children now that, hey, if you feel like you're a certain type of person, then it's okay. And the public, what they've been telling us lately is we're supposed to now just accept it, that is the reality just because the media says so. And it's like, we have to be careful about what we watch, because remember, when the dark force, when that dark one was cast out, as the book talks about, it was cast out into the earth. It is the prince of the earth. Okay, those that are Christian understand this here, and I think even in the Holy Quran it talks about the same thing. It was cast out and it was sent this way, right? So that satanic spirit also helps to enable all those that are with in allegiance with the dark forces, right? Talks about principalities and in high places, major powerful people, right? And we are witnessing it right now in real time, right? But now check this out. Also with this north, south, east, west. Remember how they came into Africa with the cross and the Bible and the bullet, right? So now, not only was this here media a part of Shaitan's or Satan or the dark angel or whatever, artillery, but also when you look at this here, you also have the picture of a cross. Now, to some of you, this may not mean anything, but to some of us, it makes sense that those that was dragged out of Africa are the souls that have been devoured. But God, just like with Job, said, you will not touch their souls. They will remain mine. And who praises God all through slavery, all the way up until today? It is those of us that have been through complete hell and we still believe. All right? Hopefully that might help somebody. Till the next time, Love you. Peace.